One of the things that's been on my mind from when we first bought this house was the backyard and how it was filled with seemingly random concrete patch jobs and wonky stones to line the gardens. Firstly, the rocks weren't in a straight line and the garden bed wasn't parallel to the back fence. I'm guessing that this garden evolved over many years to create a pleasant place to be for the old Italian lady who previously owned it. I'm going to turn this part of the backyard into something a little more appealing to us and potential future buyers. And like most things, I want to get bang for my buck too. So first thing was to remove all these blue stones and cut the current concrete so that it's straight and square. I was initially going to make the garden bed parallel to the fence, but that would have been very time consuming and not really that necessary. So I just ran a string line on the concrete to straighten it up, but would also need to add a bit more concrete where it peaked in the middle. Just a grinder with masonry disc is all you need for this, plus a bit of water to reduce the dust, and it also helps with the cut by keeping the temperature down. So with this return cut here, I was just going to straighten it up a bit, but decided that it had to be 90 degrees to the long side because it looked wrong being an obtuse angle. You know, opposite of acute. Not a cute angle, acute. Although it is now very cute being a right angle. You know what I'm saying. I'm using the string line again here to hammer in stakes to get these 50mm sleepers dead straight. Okay, so I did a bit of YouTubing on how others join their sleepers, but there was no inventive ways that I could find other than just butt joining them, which I thought was a bit boring. So I got a bit creative and wanted to do a half overlay. Then I thought, why don't I do a proper woodworking joint? So I came up with this box joint style thing. I'm not sure long term how this will go, but I guess time will tell. There is a dip in the concrete a few metres from the corner, and so I needed to add a piece to the underside of the sleepers to cover the gap that it made. You have to make sure your screws are all either galvanised or stainless, otherwise they'll rust through, causing your boards to not hold together. And a no-brainer, but your timber must be pressure treated, which means you can use it outdoors. If you're asking what pressure treated means, it means that they get timber, chuck it in a big tank with certain chemicals, and then pressurise the tank to force liquid into the timber, not just on the surface. Then put it under vacuum to suck out any excess liquid. Just another note that H3 timber is for above ground applications, and H4 is where you can use it in contact with the ground, or even for concreting it into the ground. For example, posts for decking, etc. I didn't film this, but the stakes I hammered in earlier were just a guide. I hammered some larger pieces into the ground against the sleepers and removed any temporary stakes. And here I'm just concreting around them for a bit more staying power. With baby attached, I'll just fill up the void in the concrete with smaller rocks and rubble, and I'll stomp them down to below ground level, because in a sec I'll be doing a concrete patch job over the entire void. Just giving it a little 6mm round over on the edges with a trimmer. Somewhere around here we decided that we should fix the back fence too. It was a bit of a rotten eyesore. Yeah, my eyes actually became sore after looking at it. I ended up getting 3 trailerfuls of free soil to backfill and level out the entire garden bed. So I tore down the rotten timber section, sourced some second-hand replacement colourborn fencing on Marketplace, and got enough to repair the existing damaged sections too. I've got to say, colourborn fencing is actually pretty simple to do, and I reckon any DIY homeowner should get their hands dirty and give it a go. The plan is to plant some lily pillies along the fence, which will grow about 4 or 5 metres high and become quite bushy. So the fence will disappear in a matter of a couple of years. There's still a lot of landscaping to do in the future, but doing the kitchen is next on the cards due to the value that it adds to the property. I did just slap paint over this dent like a madman, but with the new paint on it kind of stands out, so I'm going to have to replace that panel. I do have one left. It is a little rough, but it's better than the dented one.
Much better.
So now with the fence painted, the neighbours' sheds look bloody awful, so I'm just going to give them a whack too. They will never know. I levelled the garden bed out and laid some weed mat over the entire thing, and then I pinned it down. Then I used a string line to mark out precisely where I wanted the trees to go, and planted about 11 trees, which cost about $500 all up. So with the bark here, we used about 2 cubic metres of black bark to cover it, and it looks pretty cool against the green of the trees and the colour of the fence. Considering the limited budget, we're pretty happy with how it turned out, costing us under $1,000 for everything.